Of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood, EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.
Good morning and welcome to this live feed coming to you directly from the Supreme Court of the Gambia here in Banjul. Of course, as we follow the case of Kumba Jaite and the state. Not everybody was able to have access into the courthouse today, but of course Mustafa Dabo was there. Mustafa, let's begin with the civil lawsuit that was filed by lawyer Mboj and lawyer Jallow.
So they began at the Supreme Court with the suit before the court by Mr. Lamin Mboj and Mr. Ebrima Jallow. These are two lawyers who actually are of the view that the president's decision was right and that Kumba, as indicated, is fired, and that the nomination of Mr. Fode Gazama as proclaimed is constitutional, and Fode should therefore continue to perform his task as a lawmaker in effect. So that case was before the court today. But what happened as it was called, because this case was before the court since yesterday, right. And the court today made a decision that the part of the suit that involves the 31 lawmakers, who you will remember have come together at a caucus and made a resolution effectively declaring the president's action unconstitutional and distancing themselves from it. This involves some very prominent members such as Sidia Jata and also KK Dafe, who are not new to the National Assembly. But the lawyers have involved those 31 members of the National Assembly in their civil suit. And the court has said that those people cannot be sued. They cannot be a party to the case, so effectively striking that out. But who remains party to the case is Kumba, and they are praying that the court continue to restrain her, and also that the nomination of the swearing in of Mr. Fode Gassama, which is slated for on the 18th when National Assembly resumes sessions, continues. That's their prayer today. And Mr. Mboj was the one who had made the argument before the Supreme Court earlier today, and Mr. Jallow appeared to stand with Mr. Mboj's submission, effectively becoming one. But the court is very cautious, because you would understand that if the court says, for instance, that of course Kumba, the court says the 31 lawmakers cannot be sued. But then Kumba can be sued because Kumba's case is in limbo for now. The court has not made a decision on Kumba's case as to whether in fact he is a lawmaker or not, because this is the substance of the case before the court.
What does this mean to our newfound democracy?
Well, it's incredibly important. I could see Hassan Jallow himself smiling when Mr. Lamin Mboj was making the submission, and he said, Mr. Bori Estura was making the submission, and he said, well, now we have effectively ended dictatorship, and we are before an independent, we are in a country of rule of law, acknowledging that the Supreme Court would not in any way be guided by sentiments or powers elsewhere.
To catch up with lawyer Ebrima Jallow, who's the lawyers who filed the decision was, of course, constitutional. Tell us a little bit about that, lawyer Jallow.
Yeah, we as lawyers we have a duty to to move forward, to help in the court in determining the questions of constitutional matters that have arisen. And as a matter of national issue, we decided, in our capacity as lawyers and as citizens, to bring this suit, to the Supreme Court, for the Supreme Court to tell the Gambians what the law is. Yes, and that's why we filed the suit against the Attorney General, Kumba and others. But unfortunately today, the court, the court decided that all the National Assembly members, all other defendants, except Kumba names should be struck out, so that those people can go back to National Assembly and resume their duties.
Why were their names dragged into this in the first place? Why did you think it was necessary?
Yeah, the reason why we include their names as defendants is because the resolution, purported resolution that was signed, that was passed by the National Assembly, according to them, was signed by all of them. Although some of them are saying that the place where they append their signature was a photocopy of an attendance list that they signed when they arrived in the National Assembly on that day, on the 25th of March or February. Yes. So, but anyway, it was for them to come to the court and inform the court the reasons, the basis or the reasons behind their signature being appended to a resolution that they did not pass in the National Assembly. But the Supreme Court, deemed it fit that it may not be necessary to have them all as parties, because once a decision is made by the Supreme Court against Kumba, it will directly, be applicable to them and be enforceable against anybody in the National Assembly. So for them to go back to their chambers and resume their duties, then it is appropriate in the circumstance for the Supreme Court to have make the order to struck out their names. Yes.
This is the first time this sort of case is happening in the history of the Gambia. Yeah. What does that mean to you as a lawyer?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I particularly, I study in Nigeria, and they have a very rich constitutional jurisprudence. And I think that the Gambia, it will help us in developing our legal jurisprudence and understanding of the law. It is the first time in the Gambia because, some years before now, it will be very difficult and dangerous, to bring a suit against government for this kind of issues. So that's why we think that since we are in a democracy where we have agreed to be governed by the rule of law, any matter that we do not or we have issues with, instead of going to resolving the matter in the street by fighting, we have a court that is experienced, that have sufficient manpower, and that have a lot of people that are exposed and they'll be able to help us to understand what the law says. And that I believe that once the Supreme Court makes the decision tomorrow, everybody should understand that is the law and should obey that order.
Some people have argued that this might be a threat to national security, which is this whole situation. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, it's going to be a threat to national security, because if you look at the issue at stake, is that is the issue of National Assembly. And the National Assembly, the representative of the people of the Gambia from various regions, various constituencies, and representing different diverse political parties, right? So if the National Assembly is allowed to go forward with their decision, to forcefully bring Kumba to the National Assembly, despite the fact that the president has revoked his nomination of Kumba and nominated another person, then consequently in the National Assembly on Monday there is going to be one seat for two people, and obviously there is going to be a chaos in the National Assembly. And once there is chaos, it's directly going to reflect to what is to the electorate, the people who elected these people into the National Assembly. So that is what we are trying to avert as lawyers. We have a duty to come to the court to avert a consequence that will be it will be too difficult to talk about or address when it occurs. We are prevented from occurring. That's why we ask for an order by an expert application, to restrain Kumba, since her nomination is revoked, to restrain her from going into the National Assembly to assume her position on office as a nominated member, because her nomination has been revoked.
Was the revocation of the nomination right in the first place?
Yes, the revocation. The Constitution says in Section 88, sub 1b, said that the President have a right to nominate 5 people. In Section 231, says that the President also have the equivalent right to nominate any person, to revoke the nomination of any person that he has nominated under Section 88. So the people that are giving interpretation to this, or as a result of their trying to deliberately mislead the people, that's what I believe. Because no reasonable lawyer, things, those laws clearly they are not ambiguous. Any lawyer that read them should understand it in their textual meaning, that it means this. So the revoke and that the nomination of Kumba Jaite is not a right. Kumba Jaite doesn't have right. It's a privilege that was given to her. Even the elected National Assembly members, the people that elected them have a right to recall them when they do not perform their duties. That is provided also in the Constitution. Just like the president have the right to revoke a nomination when a nominated member have not performed what is expected of him or her in the National Assembly. And Kumba Jaite have proven severally that he has become a liability both morally and politically to the president and the government of the Gambia. So the decision of the president is not only constitutional, but it is proper in the circumstance.
Thank you very much. That's lawyer Ebrima Jallow there on this broadcast with us. Thank you very much for granting us this interview, sir. This will now bring us to the end of this interview. Join us tomorrow as we follow the case of Kumba Jaite against the state. Thank you very much and bye for now.
Dreaming of owning a property in a prime location with great proximity and fantastic neighborhood? EJ Investments Sanyang Seaview Estate is the best choice you have been waiting for. Our Sanyang Seaview Estate is approximately 15 minutes drive away from the busy hub of Brusubi roundabout and into the heart of nature, where you can have a peaceful and relaxed lifestyle with your family. You can buy a finished 4-bedroom story with 5-year flexible payment plan or a service plot with 2-year payment plan option. With over 300 homes, you will enjoy big tar roads with covered drainage, modern electrification with solar street lights, gated entrance with security post, and a breath-catching experience of our beautiful sea view and lake view. You can own a home today at our Sanyang Seaview Estate. Call us today on 446-4838 or 325-9220. Visit our website on ejinvestments.net. EJ Investments, first in property.